So we managed to get the add-on to work, and we are going to be having the Frost God comp of Ariana Grande going up against the Fire God comp of Roasty Toasty. Roasty Toasty, a more unknown team, a little bit more lower rated on the ladder, going up against probably one of the best God comps in the game currently. So we're going to see if they can prove their stuff against some of the best players in North America. Definitely, they have a little bit more utility with Dragon's Breath. Of course, Familia is going to have access to Deep Freeze instead, so we have to see where the CC goes out. I'd imagine that both the Shadow Priests are going to be the primary targets, maybe swaps to the mages, depending on how aggressive they are with ice blocks on CC. But this is going to be a very CC-heavy based game and heavy burst, so we're going to have to let the mages build up their icicles, get their damage ready to go, and the game is going to be starting here shortly in 3 seconds. And I would imagine that Ariana Grande is going to be very aggressive and forefront in there. They want to end it quick, show the other team what they've got. Tamilia already in the center of the map, throwing out that Pet Nova, trying to get some spell steals off, just purging all the hots off, and then starts building his icicles. CMG already getting his dots out, generating his Shadow Orbs. The Frozen Orb actually coming out. The Deep Freeze onto Goalie, into the Poly if he can land it. He trinkets to land the Ring of Frost. Unfortunately, it misses. Goalie able to blink out of that just in time, and now Tamilia sitting into a Polymorph. Now the Fire God comp with Deep Freeze on cooldown, they can start to set something up onto CMG. Tamilia just getting CC'd a lot. That's exactly what they need to do. Shifty into the Dragon's Breath. Let's see if they can land CC out. Not going to be able to. He pre-travel for him, the Dragon's Breath, throwing a Cyclone onto Cremate now. Snoopy taking quite a lot of damage. He's trying to MD that Poly, but he doesn't get it. He's put into the bash. He's really low. The Dispersion comes out at 40,000 HP. He's going to survive for now, but Goalie's just sitting so much CC. Chooses to trinket that clone. He gets the Iron Bark off, but he's instantly recloned. The Iron Bark might not be enough. He's into the Deep Freeze now. Snoopy in a lot of trouble. He's using the Silence. The Dragon's Breath onto Shifty. He's just trying to survive right now. The Spectral Guys, the Fade. Goalie sitting immense amount of CC. Has the NS up, but I think it got purged off. Snoopy could go down just because of that purge. He's spamming the Power Word Shield. He's running for his life. His Cremate spams Polys onto Tamilia. He's going to make it out here, I think. Snoopy into the Fear. Goalie just spamming as many heals as he can. He goes into the half Poly. Snoopy 80,000, 100,000. Devouring Plague. Silence is coming out. He's trying to turn something around here for his team, but he's so low. He's just not able to recover. But now he's Brett CMG taking quite a bit of damage. He's throwing out his own Silence onto Cremate, trying to lock that Polymorph out, which he does. Shifty throws the NS out. He tops CMG instantly, and now CMG popping his unused trinket. He wants to throw some damage with that Cyclone onto Goalie, man. And now the full bash onto Snoopy. He's not going to be able to MD any CC out of that. The Deep Freeze comes out. The Ring of Frost is going to land. The Cyclone onto Cremate. Triple CC. Snoopy Devouring Plague onto him. He's taking a lot of damage. No Dispersion. He goes down. The first game to Shifty, Tamilia, and CMG. Kind of expected, as they have proven themselves to be a strong team on the ladder.
Well,
What do you guys think?
I don't think we even saw a single disperse out of CMG there. I don't think he ever dropped below maybe 50% health, so it looked like Ariana Grande experience showing there with a lot of CC really there. That Cyclone onto Cremate there at the end, while Goalie Man was sitting in the full Ring of Frost, was killer. No poly peels, no blast wave to interrupt casting, no counter spells, and it seemed like it was an inevitable sort of doom that was approaching them. I'd like to see if they try to switch anything up here in this next series.
Yep. The Fire God comp, they did show a little bit of skill early on in the game. They stopped themselves from getting CC'd, but it kind of just fell apart in the mid game. They lost control. They were getting multiple CCs out on onto that Fire God comp, so they just weren't able to recover. It's kind of a chain reaction. If you get put into a Polymorph, you're getting put into another Polymorph, you're getting put into another one, and then a Cyclone doesn't stop. You have to stop it before it happens, and Tamilia's team definitely did a better job of that.
Yeah, it was definitely a quick-paced match right there. You know, especially with, like, at one point, like you were saying, you know, the triple CC, that was definitely the killer for them. You know, they didn't really stop any of the CC there, and they couldn't really get any pressure back because of it. Right there at the end, they really just needed to bring in some CC. Poly the DPS, clone, I mean, they really didn't use the clone very much at all. They really just need to get that CC out, stop the damage, and then recover, and, you know, use that DB to set up. You know, they can do DB, Silence, Sphere, into, you know, polys. I mean, they can do a lot of stuff there. So we really have to see what they can bring with it this next time through.
Yeah. And it's going to be one of those snowball effects. Whichever team loses control first is probably going to have the hardest time getting it back. So it's going to be in basically whoever gets the first sheep, I feel is going to be at a disadvantage. Sorry, the team that gets sheeped is going to be at the disadvantage. But we are just in the middle of trying to queue this up.
Yeah, without a doubt. That
Yep.
first sheep is almost a guaranteed dispersion depending on how much cooldowns they get out and what kind of crits they get. It can
Yeah.
definitely be scary.
Also, the purge onto the NS of the Fire God comp that really set them behind. Obviously, Nature Swiftness from Resto Druids is almost, a lay on hands effect at the moment. And if you get that purge, you've lost your main form of recovery.
Right, yeah.
So,
Well, apparently there was some talk there by Tamilia about trying out Arcane here, so we'll have to see what happens as the game starts if they make some interesting swap-ups and play the vastly underrepresented spec of Arcane.
well, he doesn't have a water elemental out yet. So
It's
we'll
an
have to see
interesting
here.
spec, though.
Get some arcane versus fire action.
I have wanted to see ABN and Attorney for a little while, so maybe this is going to be the start.
Yeah. I am having a bit of problems with my UI. Shifty is not showing up on it. Not sure. Could we remake this? Or let me try reload before we do that. Should work. Did not work. Okay. We can go like this if you want, but I don't have access to Shifty's frame right now. The game is going to start. Obviously, CMG and Tamilia are going to push out very aggressively. If he is choosing to play Arcane, it's going to be a much more explosive match once they land the CC. But again, throwing out the early spell steals, trying to eliminate all of the buffs on the other team. Snoopy trying to push in and get some dots out onto the enemy team. And Goalie Man throwing a clone out onto Tamilia. He's going to trigger that instantly. He's got his 4-stack. He's got his damage set up. He's just got to get some CC onto Goalie Man. He actually dispels a VT. He could get CC'd out of that. Not just he had the Arcane power being blown. Tamilia doing quite a lot of damage. CMG into the disarm. He's going to trigger that immediately and throw his own silence onto Cremate with a polymorph onto Goalie. Snoopy in the disarm. Triple CC right now. Snoopy again dipping incredibly low. Chooses to use the Spectral Guise. He life grips his Druid back to his side. He's trying to get him out of CC. The NS comes out. I don't believe it got purged that time, but it didn't manage to top him off. The Vampiric Embrace as well. Snoopy trying to do as much off healing as he can with the single target damage. The Shadow Fiend out, but a clone onto Tamilia. That's going to even out the damage for now. Goalie Man able to recover and keep Snoopy at high health for a while here. Tamilia again into another Cyclone. The Ironbark onto CMG. He's going to be perfectly fine for now. Cremate again now just spamming out the spell steals, trying to keep the team clean. It's all about buffs in this matchup. Now full polymer from the goalie. Snoopy in a lot of trouble. That Devouring Plague, the Arcane Missiles flying out. Tamilia, the Arcane Dream, is it real? 40,000 HPs in the Dispersion. Goalie Man into the full cycle, and I don't think he's making it out of this one. The Arcane Missiles fly in. The Power Word Shield comes up. Goalie choosing to Ice Block offensively. Tamilia is trying to do as much damage as he can. The silence on the Goalie Man. Snoopy dipping really low, 100,000 HP. Goalie getting that Swift Man off just in the nick of time. The Disarm coming out. The polymorph onto CMG. He's going to be able to recover for now. Cremate choosing to block offensively and try and help his team out. But the full polymorph landed with no overlap CC, unfortunately for Goalie Man. Snoopy could be in a bit of trouble here. He gets bashed. He's not going to be able to MD that. And Tamilia is just going to town. But now he's into the Dragon's Breath. Unfortunately, the Ring of Frost misses, and the polymorphs are still being spammed on a Goalie. Snoopy taking a lot of damage, trying to throw out that Devouring Plague of his own. CMG silencing Goalie out of that polymorph. The Ironbark comes out as a result, but Snoopy dipping to about half HP. The NS is used. There's no more defensive cooldowns left for Goalie. If they can land a next CC chain onto him, surely Snoopy's going to go down with no dispersion and another polymorph onto Cremate. They're just spamming out their CC, trying to guarantee their kill later on. Goalie trying to go for some offensive clones. A double fear, possibly a triple fear landed. My UI is fortunately bugged. But the Dragon's Breath coming out from Cremate. CMG now taking a bit of damage, but Snoopy is the one who is going to be taking the brunt of it. Nature's Vigil coming out from Goalie. He's trying to get as much healing as he can. Tamilia popping the Arcane Power. Unfortunately, he gets put into the Sheep. He's trying to do as much damage as he can. The silence onto Snoopy so he can MD the polymorph, the clone onto Cremate, triple CC. The Arcane Dream, is it real here? 50,000 HP, 20,000 HP. Nice Dragon's Breath into polymorph onto Tamilia. He's going to block that and finish the job. Well played, Tamilia. The Arcane Dream rests in his hands.
I can't believe he won Arcane for that game. I thought it was all talk, but I guess we can see Tamilia serious about playing the interesting God comp matchup there. I don't know what you guys thought of that game, but it just seemed like aside from one burst attempt about a minute and a half before the end there onto Shifty, it seemed like CMG was relatively topped and Shifty didn't really dip below about 45%. So that looks like Team Ariana Grande, the #1 seed, will advance.
One thing to almost point out about this is the Tamilia playing Arcane like that. That is really great, spell steal. It's basically a BM hunter at some points. And against a Resto Druid, that's pretty much all their healing output at some points. So, almost just nulling his entire healing output right there, making it almost impossible for him to even keep up at that point. Just dropping him down, really sealing the deal right there. Even though he's playing, a spec that isn't really represented, that was still something that works for their comp and does well against what they're playing against as well.